to really be mindful of how I, hold on, give me a second, y'all, of how I use this word pandemic, but there's really no other way to describe the world that we now live in, okay? So listen, I want you guys to invite some people out because this is going to be fire, okay? Let me tell you something. You guys know I don't get on here just to get on here. I don't get on here just to entertain you. I don't get on here. Hi, Sherry. Hi, Orlando. Hello. Hi, Christine. Hey, Denise. Hi, Julie, the beautiful. Lena, yes, y'all come on in. Hey, Beth. Hello, my love. Listen, I want you guys, I'm sorry. I want you guys to invite some people out because I'm going to give you 3 amazing tips tonight that you can begin to implement, right? How do we move forward, Desiree, in a pandemic COVID world? How do we move forward in our business? How do I move forward in my marriage? How do I move forward in my parenting, right? How do I move forward in the world that exists today? So listen, I want you guys, hello, Anne-Marie. Hi, Justine. Oh, I'm so happy to see everybody. Amelia, hello. Everybody, listen, y'all go ahead, make sure you invite some people out. Hi, Monique. I'm so honored just to be able to bring you this. You guys know I don't come on here unless I have a word, unless it is something that God wants me to share. And this is definitely something that I believe that God definitely wants us to know and wants to be revealed. Hey, Rashandra, my beautiful sister, how are you today, right? So I want to start with this. Before 2 years ago, the model of the world that we lived in was go to school, get an education, get a college degree, find a job, work that job until you retire, get a career and work that career until you retire, right? This was the world that we lived in literally 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 20 years ago. Can I tell you guys that world, it no longer exists? All right. So let me just be very clear and let's just be very transparent today, you guys, that world that we had 5 years ago, 10 years ago, it no longer exists. What is the first step in order for us to really operate, for us to prosper, and for us to move forward in this pandemic world? Listen, you guys, I want y'all to type the number 1. I really want to make sure somebody is ready to receive this word tonight on how we can go forward, because I get so many DMs. For those of you that text me, listen, I get all of the text messages. So for those of you, please make sure you text 702-718-5359. Almost forgot my number, 702-718-5359, and type in the word live stream. That way you're able to get the notifications when I go live, because Facebook does what it wants to do, okay? The first thing I want you guys to know is time out for walking in education, all right? So 5 years ago, 10 years ago, 30 years ago, 100 years ago, we could walk in education. It is now time for us to move from education and walk more in revelation. It's time for us to begin to walk in what it is that God has called us to do. So the first thing I want each and every one of us to understand and realize that we all have a gift. Let me say that again. We all have a gift, okay? I like to tell when I speak to the youth, I like to use this analogy, right? So there's a gentleman by the name of Thor. Do I have any Marvel fans on here tonight? Any Marvel fans? You guys give me an emoji if you are a Marvel's fan. There's a gentleman by the name of Thor, right? And so he comes from a place called Asgard. Now, anytime Thor comes to Earth, y'all walk with me, he comes for, there's 2 things. He comes for a reason and he comes for a season. Okay, so let me say that again. So I'm going to break this down so everybody can understand. Anytime Thor comes to the earth, right, he comes for a reason and he comes for a season. So you never see where Thor comes to the earth and he stays, right? Because that's not his place. He comes here because he has an assignment here. He comes here because the earth is in need of him. Y'all walk with me. There is something that Thor needs to get to the earth. So what am I saying today, Desiree? What does that have to do with me? Because I want you to understand. Yes, we were born in the earth, but we're not from the earth, okay? We come from a heavenly place, and I need y'all to understand that we were sent here. We were sent here for a reason, and more importantly, we were sent here for a season. Let me say it again. We are sent here for a reason, and we are sent here for a season. So for each and every one of us, we carry a gift. All right. Because I need somebody to catch this today, because a lot of the DMs, text messages, and emails that I'm receiving is, I don't think I have a purpose. I don't know why I'm here. Because you're not able to walk in what you're educated in. What I'm saying is this: I now have doctors. I have lawyers. I have very highly educated people that are now texting me, that are DMing me and saying, I don't know what to do. Why? Because my education is no good, right? In this day and age, there's Fortune 500 companies that are closing down that will never come back. People are asking, what do I now do if my education is no good? Because you were never supposed to walk in your education, okay? I'm not here to knock degrees. I'm not here to knock certifications. So don't y'all try to come for me, okay? What I'm saying is this: you have a gift. The word of God says in Proverbs 18:16, I believe, it says a man's gift will make room for him. So what I'm saying today is time for you to walk in your gift. So you guys, I want you to type in the comments gift. I want you to type in gift. I want you to type in gift, because it's so important that you understand the days of us chasing knowledge, that day is over. That day is over. The day of us chasing all these degrees, I need y'all to know that that day is over. That day is done, okay? It is time for you to start walking in your gift. And this is why God said, listen, I gave you a gift. That gift is going to make room for you. And more importantly, it's going to bring you before great people. So I don't have to chase all of these things. Why? Because my gift, oh, somebody catch this word. My ability to speak, what does it do? It brings me before great people. Who would have thought when I was a little girl? I mean, you're looking at somebody, my father was murdered before I was born, right? I grew up in a neighborhood of gangsters and gangbangers and drug lords and strippers and prostitutes. I mean, this is the environment I came from. So I never in a million years thought that I would become an international award-winning speaker. How does that happen? Because when I was in my mother's womb, God gave me a gift. The word of God says, listen, when you were in your mother's womb, I knew who you were. So for many of us that are on this line, my question to you today, are you operating in your gift? Are you operating in your gift? Because for so long, we were told that we have to be educated in order to receive prosperity. For so long, we were told that we had to work this particular job, or we had to do this particular thing in order for us to have prosperity, in order for room to be made for us. And that's not what the word of God says. He said, listen, I'm going to give you a gift, and that gift is going to make room for you. And it brings me to point number 2. Somebody type in the number 2, because I told you I'm not going to be on here long, y'all. Point number 2, you have to divorce the world that you once knew. Okay, let me say that again. You have to divorce the world that you once knew. So what does that mean? Or what do I actually mean by that? Let me tell you something, you guys. The world that we know it will never be the same. There is always a shift in the earth where God switches things. Right? There was a time in the earth where there weren't cars. Can we be honest? Almost 200 years ago, there were less than 10,000 cars on the road. Did y'all know that? Google that. Look that up. Less than 200 years ago, there was less than 8,000 cars on the road. So there's a time where God has to shift things. And then guess what? After cars were created, the world was never the same. Henry Ford, when he came up with the V8 engine, Do you know the reason why he called it the V8 engine, that the horsepower? Because he was saying that the horsepower in this V8 engine is equivalent to 8 horses pulling it. He represented change in the world. People like the prophets, Daniel, Jeremiah, even Jesus, they represented change in the earth. So I want you to know that this is the time that there is a shift. If you don't understand, if you don't comprehend, if you don't get anything else, I want you guys to know that there is a shift in the earth. I don't want you to think small. From here on out, each and every one of you, I want you to know and understand that you have a global business. You have a global brand. This thing right here that we have, this thing that's called a cell phone, it allows us now to deal internationally. 5 years, 10 years, we didn't have this available to us, you guys. Right now, we have the opportunity to globally make an impact. How many of you today are ready to make a global impact? How many of you today, and show me and just tell me in the comments, how many of you are ready to walk in that calling? How many of you today, tonight, are saying, listen, I'm ready to do what it is that God has called me to do. I am ready to make a global impact. Because can I tell you that you are here? You were sent to the earth like Thor for a reason, for a season, and to make a global impact. It's time out for, okay, I can make a big difference in my family, and I thank God for your family, and you can. I can make a difference in my community. You sure can. But why just make a difference in your family and your community when God has sent you here to make a global impact? I need somebody to catch this today. Come on now, Julie, I'm ready. Who would have thought, you guys? Listen, I have clients in over 10 different countries. 10 different countries. Had it not been for the pandemic, I can't say that I would have clients in 10 different countries. See, the problem that I had 2 years ago is not the problem I have today. I have a problem today that I have to know the difference in the time zones, right? Come on now. I need somebody to catch that, because when I'm talking to my client in Australia, I need to know that she's already almost a day ahead of me. Oh, somebody catch that word. So this is a different problem that I have. And I didn't have this problem 2 years ago, right? I didn't have this problem 5 years ago, but it's a wonderful, spectacular problem to have. The world that we know it will never be the same. I want you guys to stop thinking about your current world and your current situation. I want you to think about the future world and the future situation. How many of you remember, and I know I'm telling my age with this, but how many of you remember the Jetsons? Does anybody on here remember the show, The Jetsons? Somebody on here, type in if you remember the Jetsons. If you remember the Jetsons. Hey, thank you. Hey, Marquetta. Hey, love bug. Thank you. If you remember the Jetsons, somebody, thank you, Monique. Look, Monique, don't make me feel like I'm old by myself. I appreciate you, Beth. Yes, I love the Jetsons. So, you guys, I watched an interview from the producers, the creators of the Jetsons, right? And so let me tell you how the Jetsons thought. Do you know that they created the Jetsons in 1962? They created the Jetsons in 1962, but they were so futuristic in creating that show and creating that cartoon that they said this: we didn't want to base a cartoon on the world we saw today. We wanted to base a cartoon on what we thought the world would be 20 years from now, 30 years from now. So for those of you that say, listen, I want a pandemic-free future. I want to know, how can I move forward with my life, with my marriage, with my business past the pandemic? What do I do in this new world? Because if you don't recognize, we now live in a new world, y'all. The number one thing that you can do is to make sure you're thinking futuristic. What do you think the world is going to look like 5 years from now? What do you think the world is going to look like 10 years from now? And that's where I want you to put your mind. That's where I want you to put your business. That's where I want you to put your parenting. That's where I want you to put your marriage. Because let me tell you something. The creators of the Jetsons back in 1962, they said, you know what? I think in the future that sidewalks are gonna be moving. And we have that. Escalators. They said, you know what, in the future, I think cars will be flying. They said, you know what, I think in the future, we're gonna have talking computers. You know what, I think in the future, you're gonna be able to see people on the telephone. Can I tell y'all, we have all of that now. We have FaceTime. This didn't exist back in 1962. We have airplanes, and we do have some cars in a minute, y'all. Give it another 10 years, cars will be flying, right? Come on now. I need somebody to catch that. So when you're looking at your business, don't look at your business for where it is right now. Don't look at it for what it can do right now. I want you to think 5 years from now. What do you think that your business, how do you think that your business will be able to impact the world 5 years from now? Right? 10 years from now, how do you think you'll be able to make an impact on the world? Hey, Karen. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Smiley. Yes. So this is something that I want you guys to really begin to think about. How can you be innovative? How can you be proactive instead of just being reactive, right? What problems do you think will exist in the next 5 years, in the next 2 years, in the next 6 months? Not just the problems that exist today, but what are some that will exist in the future? The third thing that I want each and every one of us to do in order for us to really have a pandemic free or a pandemic world past the pandemic, right? That's what I'm meaning to say. The number 3 thing is I want you to learn to lead. What do I mean by that? I want you to learn to lead. I don't want you to learn just to get information, okay? I don't want you to learn just to say, oh, okay, I learned this today. No, I want you to learn so that you can actually give that information to someone else. I want you to not only just get the information, but I want you to get the implementation. I want you to get the action that goes with what you're learning, right? I want you to be able to go forth and teach somebody else the things that you're learning, because even the word of God, Jesus told him, listen, I need you to go forth and make disciples. So the conglomerate of the world that we used to live in, with the Fortune 500 companies monopolizing and maximizing and owning everything, we now have the same playing field, you guys. We now have the ability to do the exact same thing that Fortune 500 companies do. Can I tell y'all something, that we have an advantage right now that Fortune 500 companies don't have? We have direct access to consumers. We have direct access to clients, you guys. We have direct access to our ideal audience. 5 years ago, we didn't have this. 10 years ago, we didn't have this. So we may not be able to outspend them. We may not be able to outstaff them. But let me tell you what we can do. We can outgive them. How can we outgive them? Do exactly what you see right here. Pick up a phone, go live, give information, and help out your ideal audience. Help out your ideal client. Help somebody that is in need, right? Your gift that you have, share that gift with the world. My grandmother used to say that your gift is a present from God, and how you give that gift to others is your way of thanking God for the gift that he's giving you. So for many of you, time out for allowing fear to stop you. We no longer are living in a world of fear. Come on now. It's time out. This world will not be the same now. This is a prime opportunity for you to just show up. What is your gift? Is your gift health? Is your gift wellness? Is your gift showing people how to cook, showing others how to sew, showing others how to speak? Whatever that gift is, you now have the ability to get up and give that gift to someone else, right? So for those of you, make sure you guys get ready, because we are about to host the biggest, no, I'm just saying, I want y'all to try to come for me, right? No, but next week, we're going to host our challenge. So for those of you, I want you to text me, right? I want you to text 702-718-5359. Somebody type that for me. 702-718-5359. So that way you're able to get the notifications, and I'm able to send you that information. Okay, here we go. I'll be able to text you because you guys, you don't want to miss it. I'm telling you, this is literally, if you haven't been to a Desiree King challenge, let me tell you something, baby. You don't know what you're missing. Listen, it is going to be off the chain, you guys, filled with so much value. So I want you guys to text me. And also, I mean, when you text, that is literally me on the other end of that. You can text me any questions you have, anything that you know that you may need to know. If I can't get back with you immediately, I will get back to you. Okay, so let me just say that, because I do get a lot of DMs, text messages, and emails. But I want you to know I'm here to serve you, right? I'm here to help. What questions do you have about live streaming? What questions do you have about creating a content, your course, finding your tribe, finding your ideal audience, no matter what it is, even if it's look, woman of God, I just need a little prayer, okay? Whatever it is, you guys, make sure you text me, okay? 702-718-5359. So again, 3 ways that you can really begin to live in this pandemic world that we find ourselves in now. Number 1, make sure that you're walking in your gift, you guys, because your gift is going to make room for you, not your education, not your background, not all of those things. The gift that God has given you is going to make room for you. The second thing is you're going to have to divorce the old world that we used to know. You're going to have to divorce the old things that we used to do, because those days may never come back, right? The ability to do what we used to do may never come back. So I want you guys to think innovative, right? I want you to think proactive instead of reactive. And number 3, I want you to learn to lead. Many of you say, listen, Desiree, I'm not a leader. Listen, Jesus said, go forth and make disciples. So what did that make you? That make you a leader. The disciples probably said the same thing, right? God said, listen, we're going to create man in our image, in our likeness, in our character. Why? So that he can have dominion. So you were literally sent to the earth to lead. That's it. Like that, there is no other way around it. So I want you to begin to learn to lead. Now, I'm not saying that you have to lead the masses. You may be comfortable with leading 5, leading 10. Listen, Jesus led 12 disciples for almost 3.5 years. So I don't know what that leadership looks like for you, but this is a day and age that you're the answer to somebody's prayer. And I'm going to continuously say that. I'm going to continuously feed that into you. And for a lot of us that are older, we should be reaching out to this younger generation. We should be, this wisdom and this knowledge that we have, we should be sharing with the younger generation. And that's what made grandmother and them so important and so vital to our lives. And a lot of this youth, they don't have that person that can speak life into them, right? I can remember Elisha and Elijah, that, when Elijah left, he said, listen, I'm praying and I'm hoping that a double measure of what I had fall upon you. So for many of us, it's supposed to be an impartation into someone else. We're supposed to be speaking into someone else. We're supposed to be given to somebody else. We're not supposed to have all this information and die with it. Like, that's not the will of God for our life, right? For us to have all this information, all this knowledge, all this expertise, and don't share it and don't give it and don't impart it into somebody else. That's not how we're supposed to be. So it's time for us to get out of fear. It's time for us to get out of our own mind. It's time for us to get out of our own ways. And it's time for us to stand up. It's time for us to show up. And it's time for us to really be a blessing to somebody else. Yes, come on now. That's right, Beth. Hey, yes, Rashad just said absolutely. Yes, Lord. So listen, y'all, I just want each and every one of you to know that I love you guys. Yes, I want each and every one of you to know I love you. And again, that's right. Everyone needs your group. That's right. Everyone needs encouragement. Everyone needs support. Everybody needs somebody at some point, right? Let me see your gift and focus on that. Yes, come on now. Yes, Lord. So listen, you guys, I promised that I wouldn't be on here long. Hey, Julie, I love you. I'm trying to find someone now that I can show them. Okay. Yes. Isn't that something that is so beautiful? Yeah. When the teacher is ready, when a student is ready, the teacher will come. So I know that Teresa, yeah, you'll definitely be able to find someone that's looking for the information. All right. Any questions, you guys? A little Q&A before we get up out of here. Does anyone have any questions? Any questions before we get up out of here? I want y'all to make sure y'all get ready. because we're rolling out our challenge is going to start next week. So get ready, y'all, to learn how to get organic traffic, learn about your messaging, learn how to start your movement, all from a cell phone. Okay. So we're going to get into it. We are definitely going to get into it. And hello, everybody. Thank y'all for joining me out there this evening. All right. So I just want to make sure we had just to see Carmen. I love you. Hello, my Carmen. Yay, Beth, it's Thursday on your birthday. Happy birthday. Go Beth. It's your birthday. Go Beth. It's your birthday. Yes, you guys. So, okay, wonderful. If we don't have any other questions, you guys, I think I'm going to do something fun in the next couple of days. I know Valentine's Day is coming up. I think I might do something. Live, love, and live stream. What do you guys think, right? Live, love, live stream. I think that'll be fun, right? I think that'll be something fun to do. Yeah, so I want you guys to get ready. Please, you guys, start your movement. There is absolutely no way. Do you know, literally like 100 years ago, we didn't have the opportunities that we have right now. As a matter of fact, women couldn't even be leaders 100 years ago, okay? We would be shunned and everything else if we tried to get on here and teach somebody. So I don't want you to sleep on the opportunities that we have. 5 years ago, we couldn't connect with 5 million people in a drop of a dime, in a drop of a hat. So I want you guys, please make sure that we're taking advantage of each and every opportunity that we have. All right. And I'm definitely going to show you how. So for those of you, make sure you text me 702-718-5359 and text the word live stream, baby. Okay, you guys. So if we don't have any questions, I love you. Remember, you can always text me, DM me, email, put a message in a bottle. Your girl is around. Okay. I love